Hey, it's Dr. May here, and if you know anything about my background, you know that I absolutely love to talk with people about overcoming their food struggles, but I also really love to talk to people about their relationships, and not only their relationship history, but what it is that's going to help them to create the kind of relationships that they really desire. And so in today's video, I want to talk with you about this concept of untethering the past and how important that it really is when it comes to your food struggle and also when it comes to your relationships. So when I think about my relationship history, I dated a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean like 17 boyfriends. And I don't share that with you to sort of, to brag about how many people I've dated. Actually, the reverse. Why I'm sharing it is because it took me about 17 boyfriends to finally start to learn the lessons around how tethered I really was in my relationships. So what does that really mean, to be tethered? It means that we're stuck in some way. We're stuck in something that we experienced or something that we learned in our past, and we're bringing it into the current moment. So here's what I learned about relationships in my past. I learned that relationships could be fun. I learned that relationships were with people who weren't always around. And I learned that relationships were with people who really valued their family. So with all those 17 boyfriends that I just told you about, I kept getting in relationship with people who were, guess what, really fun, really loved their families, but were kind of somewhat available when it came to the intimate relationship. So over and over again, I kept repeating that same cycle and getting that same lesson. Now, as you might imagine, guess what would happen when I could feel that the relationship was unavailable? Guess what would happen when that moment would inevitably come where I felt like I was chasing someone who really wasn't there, who really wasn't so available to really be in a committed, intimate relationship? So what would happen is that I would fill that void with food. So I would get to the end of the day and I would just find myself eating way too much. And so the first step that I want to encourage you to do is to really, first of all, recognize that we're using food to fill a void. And it's a void that food can't ultimately actually fix for us. So that's the first step. And then the second thing that I want you to think about is what we call untethering the past. So how can I untether this pattern that I had of seeking out, sure, fun, family-oriented, but not so available people? How can I untether that? So here's how I untethered it. So what I learned to do is I learned to start really showing up for myself. I started becoming someone who would listen to my thoughts, my feelings, and my body's desires, and I started nourishing those things myself instead of really looking for somebody else to do that. So as I started to do that, I became a stronger and clearer person. So what was really interesting as a result of that is I no longer was seeking out these unavailable people, and here's something really neat, is they also stopped seeking me out. It was almost like our puzzle pieces didn't fit together anymore, which is really a beautiful thing to end that cycle and to untether the past. So there's really a lot of truth in you needing to be your own hero, you needing to fill that own void, that emotional void that you think that the food can comfort, but it really, really can't.